I mean, I know that like rewatching it, you see the difference in. So they didn't have the licensing to do the mask yet, and
Oh,
so
that's
you'll
right.
see different variations of the mask. So the mask that we saw with Henry Winkler, that's not that's a mask that the production team just made up because they didn't have the
Mm.
to use the actual like ghost face, or I think
Oh.
the name is Father of Death.
Want to listen to this Ivory Tower Boiler Room or True Crime and Academia episode ad free? Head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/ Ivory Tower Boiler Room to listen to all of our podcast episodes without any ads. You get access to our video episodes, our bonus episodes, and even more exclusive content, including merchandise. It only starts at $5 a month. So head on over to our Patreon. Again, it's patreon.com/ Ivory Tower Boiler Room. And while you're at it, you know what would be such a help is if you could rate and review the Ivory Tower Boiler Room on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And make sure that you follow us and share out our podcast to all of your friends. It truly does help. And I want to thank you all. It means so much that you're listening to the Ivory Tower Boiler Room. I hope that you enjoy this episode. Hi, this is Dr. Andrew Rimby. And before you hear such an exciting episode, I want to remind you all that when I'm not here hosting the Ivory Tower Boiler Room, I am running my small business, the Ivory Tower Boiler Room, where I am consulting with clients. It includes academic writing consulting, social media, podcast, and expanding your media footprint. So, I have clients I'm working on graduate school writing with them. I can work on thesis writing, dissertation writing, essay advice, college admission essays, undergrad college advice, graduate school advice. I also am working on a client's small business right now and expanding her social media footprint. I can work on how to create a podcast with you or how to expand your podcast audience. I also can just help you expand your media footprint in general. So, if you're interested in my consulting, I first want to let you all know it is only $30 for the first hour that I work with you on consulting, and then I'll set up a package with you then. So you can email me at ivorytowerboilerroom@gmail.com, or you could go to our Patreon, patreon.com/ Ivory Tower Boiler Room. And there's a consulting option under memberships. You can pay the $30 and then I will reach out to you right away and we'll set up a consultation. And then while you're on our Patreon, make sure you join the Ivory Tower Boiler Room and the True Crime and Academia Book Club. Every month, both myself and Mary are choosing books for our book club members to read. And we are actually polling our members on Patreon to see what books they want to read. And we're meeting with them the first week of each month. So if you want to join, um, the book club each month, just make sure that you join on Patreon. That way I know who's joined and I can reach out to all of you and let you know when we're meeting on Zoom. Okay, so lots of things to do here in the Ivory Tower Boiler Room, and I can't wait to consult with you, join you for a book club discussion, and have you here listening to one of our podcast episodes. Okay, enjoy this episode. Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Andrew Rimby. Happy horror spooky season. I am really excited because this is a special first ever watching a movie with you all. So, this is ITBR Teaches, our new teaching series of TV, film, Broadway musicals eventually will happen. Um, Anything that I've taught in the classroom, I want to bring to you all, to the public. That's what I love about this podcast. So I'm joined with two really special guests. One, you all know, love Mary DiPipi. Hi, Mary.
Hi, everyone.
from True Crime and Academia, and my college friend from Kane University. We knew each other 9 to 10 years, 9, 10 years. Lorentz. Hi, Lorentz.
Okay.
So Lorentz is also a horror fanatic. If you are watching us on YouTube, we are on YouTube, everyone. Ivory Tower Boiler Room, or on Patreon. Those who are our members, you're our favorites. Sorry, everyone. If you pay, for $5 to $10 a month, this is $10 a month, to get Mary and I caffeinated, you do hold a little special place in our heart. So we'll play some favorites. And you're gonna see we all have a different Scream movie poster. And Lorentz has a Let's Watch Scary Movie shirt. I have the Friends TV show, but with all the serial killers and slasher characters. I guess Chucky's a slasher character. I don't know. We're not doing Chucky today, so that's for another time. Maybe never. Mary is wearing a serial killer shirt.
Of course.
So this is actually Lorentz's idea. I was talking to him and saying, I taught Scary Movie at Stony Brook University in 2020. Not Scary Movie, Scream. I taught Scream. And he's like, why don't we all have everyone watch Scream with us, but provide that analysis, like bring our minds together and bring our expertise, like Lorentz as a horror movie addict, myself teaching Scream and how I taught it, and then Mary as a true crime expert. So that's what we're doing. So Lorentz, this is all your idea. So we all have the movie on and we muted it so you all don't hear it. So you can actually watch Scream with us. Maybe you want to like put it low, maybe you want to put it on mute and listen to us in the background. I don't know, however you want to do it. Maybe you want to listen to us first and then watch Scream. Pause our discussion, watch a little, come back to us. I also want to give a shout out to a podcast called Movies That Made Me Gay. They do this as well. So yeah. So Scream is our movie. It's 1996. And I don't want to talk too much about all of our thoughts about Scream because we have an hour and 50 minutes. I'm sure our thoughts are going to come up, and I'd rather them come up organically. So I'm going to just hit play on the count of 5. We're all going to hit play. Okay. So the 3 of us, let's make sure that it's on mute. Okay. And then Mary and I are watching on Max, so we do have ad breaks. So you'll hear us say something like ad break, just in case anyone else is watching on Max. And then, Lorentz is going to press pause on his side. Okay. So ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Click play. Okay. So we have the Miramax logo. I also have my captions on too.
Mhm.
And I just love this beginning because when the Dimension logo goes up, you hear all these different horror movie sequences of openings like screams? I didn't realize that. Like you hear all these screams, but we actually aren't seeing the horror movie that our main character, well, we think it's the main character that Drew Barrymore is watching. Um, so yeah, what do you think of this infamous phone call at the beginning?
No, well, thinking about it now, I would never answer my house phone. But back in the day, it took a part of like our lives. People used to answer the phone and talk on their house phones all the time. Ever since this movie came out, the increase of caller ID went up almost 80% since 1996. Now it's all included in everybody's phones, but because this movie, it changed a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And then oh, I love when she says, "Oh, they have 900 numbers," like thinking that this guy is a perv who wants her as an escort. Oh my God, this is my favorite. Well, first, do you know where they filmed the movie? Because I just listened to Nev Campbell's interview on a podcast about Scream. Like, I didn't know it was north of San Francisco. They filmed it in Santa Rosa, California.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It
I had
does
a
give
feeling it was
me,
California.
yeah, but
Which
it's like
doesn't feel
not
right.
the Southern California feel. So it has like the weather we do in North Jersey, South Jersey, Long Island. It has the fall. And I think that's important with like the way, the swing set, right? Why is the swing going? I've always wanted to know why. Is that the killer who was on the swing set?
I feel like that was kind of like a cinematic nod, like something's like foretelling.
Hmm. Yeah. And then her playing around with the knives as if she's like in, in Halloween and is like the killer herself. I mean, when I taught this film, I called it horror meets satire. Like I really wanted it. It did. It really Wes Craven knew what he was doing because he had done Nightmare on Elm Street in the 80s and all of those movies. So um it's tongue in cheek, right? It's making
Mhm.
fun of the horror movies.
Or
But not
yeah,
like scary movie.
like
Um,
like a reference towards like Halloween.
yeah, it's very meta. Okay. Oh, that's right. She's turning on the lights. Um, and a beautiful house, right? I mean,
I
just to talk
know.
about the house, I want to live in that house. There's like this pool and the mist is coming off of it.
In all of these
Uh,
movies, I want to know what the parents do to
uh
afford such houses like this. Like,
Oh,
what career path did you take?
yeah, wait, the Jiffy Pop. Oh my God. Have you
Oh
ever
my
made Jiffy
God.
Pop? A nightmare. I hate making Jiffy Pop.
And it smells. So God only knows what's going on right now. She smelled that all the way down the hallway. Like,
Mm-hmm.
And why isn't she turning it off? Like, did anyone else think, why doesn't she turn the burner off? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know she's distracted. There's some creepy guy on the phone, but look, the steam's coming off the Jiffy Pop. Turn it off.
Just turn it off, move it, whatever, something.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'll gut you like a fish. Oh, that line. And her
Mm.
poor boyfriend. Mm-mm.
Poor Steve.
I know. Which is your boyfriend's name? Sorry, not to be a little macabre and scare.
No, I
Oh,
know.
blonde. Oh, the blondie element. Okay. Yeah. I feel like this is the very almost the Madonna horror complex in the horror film. Like she's blonde, she's pretty, she has a jock boyfriend, she's the cheerleader. If right, but everyone thought like we have our posters up. They were like Drew Barrymore's in it. Like she's the
Mm-hmm.
big name in this movie. And she is in a long sequence of the movie. I mean, in terms of how much she's in the frame. Like she's in the
Mm-hmm.
movie for 15 minutes, which I mean, some people are like, "Oh, she's never in the movie." But I mean, that's a long time to be in the movie. Like
Especially to
that.
be killed off so quickly like that.
Hmm.
Usually they get rid of you pretty quickly and then don't want to see you again. They drag
Yeah.
this out, which is
Yeah.
nice. I
Yeah.
mean, not for
Again,
her,
she
but for us.
yeah, yeah,
I think
again. Yeah,
besides
go. Yeah,
her,
yeah.
sorry, no, I think besides her, Wes Craven's pay, I think her pay was top billed in the entire, like between her and the director, they both made like almost similar amounts, which is like unheard of. But Drew Barrymore was like at the top,
Yeah,
and she had scheduling conflicts, so that was another reason why she had to reduce her role.
that makes sense.
Mm.
Okay. Hi, this is Dr. Andrew Rimby, and I'm so excited to shout out the Gay and Lesbian Review, who is helping to sponsor the ITBR podcast. For all of you out there, the Gay and Lesbian Review is a bi monthly magazine where you can discover new things about gay and lesbian literature, history, and culture. And the GL Review publishes essays in a wide range of disciplines, as well as a slew of reviews of books, plays, and movies, and a number of special features, such as artist profiles and their popular art memo column. Each issue of the magazine brings you consistently intelligent, lively, thought-provoking articles focused on a unifying theme. For example, their September-October issue centers on the theme Cracking the Closet. So, starting in the 19th century, a number of artists and writers found ways to crack the closet by expressing their sexuality between the lines or in the interstices of their work. For example, Ignacio Darnad, who is a friend of the ITBR podcast, he's been on our show, writes all about illustrator J.C. Leyendecker, whose work for Ivory Soap and Arrow Collars gave him plenty of opportunities to draw pictures of well-dressed and at times scantily dressed American men. And you also can find an article by Vernon Rosario, who has been on the podcast, and he talks about the quest for sex in the Middle Ages. So, to subscribe, visit glreview.org. That's glreview.org. Click subscribe. So on their website, go all the way over to the right-hand side and you'll see the button subscribe. Click subscribe and enter the promo code ITBR50 because you're getting 50% off your subscription to the print or digital edition of the Gay and Lesbian Review magazine. I can't wait for you all to have your copy of the Gay and Lesbian Review magazine, and make sure that you take a picture when your magazine arrives or when you're reading it online and tag the GL Review on Instagram and ITBR, and we'll share it out in our stories. Enjoy your reading, everyone. Are you afraid of the dark? Sorry, I had to, everyone. It's Dr. Andrew Rimby. Happy spooky season and gothic and horror. Just all the vibes. I am so excited to talk about Broadview Press, who you might know helps sponsor our podcast. They're an independent publisher in the humanities since 1985. Did you know they have so many horror novels that you need to get your hands on? They have Frankenstein, of course, by Mary Shelley. They have Dracula by Bram Stoker, one of my favorites. They have The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, Edgar Allan Poe's Poetry and Tales. Oh, they just have so many gothic novels that you all need to soak your teeth into, bob your teeth into. Some kind of Halloween metaphor is appropriate there. They also have academic books like Dr. Jeffrey Andrew Weinstock's The Mad Scientist's Guide to Composition. So if you're a writing professor out there, you need to get your hands on that. And they also have a gift package called Mystery Horror Sensation, which if you don't know what to choose, just choose the Mystery Horror Sensation gift package. Just a reminder, you get 20% off on broadviewpress.com, link in our show notes. Just use the code Ivory Tower, all lowercase. Ivory Tower, 20% off all your books on broadviewpress.com, all of them. I can't wait for you all to hear our next Broadview Press guest. It's coming in November. And definitely when you buy one of their horror or gothic novels or books, just make sure you tag us on Instagram at Ivory Tower Boiler Room and tag them too at Broadview Press. I know they'll love to share it. Okay, everyone. Be careful if you're reading in the dark. I don't want you to get too scared. Turn a light on. Bye, everyone. Yeah. Oh, he's big and he plays football and he'll kick the shit out of you. That line. But it's like, it's so interesting because even this opening is so unlike the horror movies before it. Like, I love Halloween's theme song, but we really don't have a Scream theme song. Like, if you think about it, there is no opening credits with all the actors. It just says Scream. Like when you heard all those horror sounds at the beginning of unidentifiable horror movies. Because, right, she's a huge fan. Uh-oh, she sees the boyfriend.
And then it's just like the phone call. Like the phone call is the like soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Almost.
And he knows what's about to happen. I think he definitely knows that he's going to get murdered. But Drew Barrymore is so good in it. I mean, this is one of my favorite opening sequences of a horror movie. Because what's the opening of Halloween? Is it from his point of view as a boy killing his sister? I'm trying to remember.
I thought it was in Halloween when they're just they talk about Halloween night and then they walk by the house and that a person lived in that house. It was a very scary house.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of the new Halloween is when they actually show the murder of his parents.
Yes. That's
Okay. Again, there's nothing playing on the TV. I find that so interesting. Like
look at the TV.
Burning Jiffy Pop and a blue screen. Oh,
the house
he's talking to the babysitters.
Already. The house is
Yeah,
gone.
she's pretty good at this trivia
Mm.
game, except she doesn't remember the first Friday the 13th, which obviously is
Which it is a trick question
it is,
in a
but
way, but it's not.
we should know it. I
Yeah.
mean, like
I
we
mean,
should
but
know that it's the mother.
Mm-hmm.
when when you're in an element of such like high
Oh,
anxiety, it's everybody thinks of Friday the 13th or Friday the
mhm.
13th. Jason Voorhees, like that's
It's
just
just the
who.
association.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And the killer's voice box, like how they change his Ghostface's voice. I find it's actually kind of seductive. Like,
Well,
well, yeah.
that's an act. That's like a actual person.
Mm. I'll have to find
His
his name as we go along.
Jackson.
Okay. Uh-oh, here's the gutting like a fish. And they didn't lie when they said he'd gut her boyfriend like a fish.
Mm-mm.
Oh no, here it happens. Were you scared
Poor
when you
guy.
saw this opening sequence the first time? Because I do remember it was really a change in the genre. I wouldn't say scary, but it was definitely it was a different subversive way of showing a horror movie. Like this opening. Um, I feel like
I mean,
now we're just so used to it.
this
But
part definitely made it realize like this is going to be a horror movie. Like as soon
no.
as you saw Steve's guts flying out, I'm like, no, this is gonna be scary.
Yeah. Or the door he's at.
Mhm.
Yes, this part freaks me out when he's like, there are two main doors to your house. Where am
Mhm.
I? And it's like, killer, spoiler alert, there's more than one killer.
Right.
So there's multiple ways the killer could be accessing your door, right? Like that's not the
Mhm.
killer in the house who just broke the glass. Okay,
Right.
the Jiffy Pop has now caused a fire, basically.
It is
She
on
doesn't,
fire
she does not
actively.
care. Actually, I would have taken the Jiffy Pop now that I'm thinking
Right.
about it,
And
but
use
you're in
that
a
as a
state of fear and
weapon.
use it as the fire to kill use it to kill the killer. Um,
She doesn't have a smoke alarm. That big old house. Like I know property insurances like
yeah,
would make you have a fire alarm.
That's a good point.
that's
Not
true. I think
one
it's
at not at any point
yeah,
do we hear a fire alarm.
that is true. Uh-oh.
That
Yeah, she
big
went
old
outside. That
To
was
be
not
fair,
good.
that would distract. So I could see why the decision was made, but also I agree. But that's not the only thing I think with this movie that's like unrealistic as
Mhm.
So
well. But it's
a
still wonderful.
yeah, a
I
fun
know.
fact is Drew Barrymore, the prop master, never turned off one of the phones. So
Oh,
during I think one of the this scene, she actually calls 911
oh,
and they come to like they dispatch on the like where they are.
oh my
Oh my
gosh.
god.
Oh yeah, the killer's in the fire. Okay, she's crouched down. Oh, and
Uh
then of course we have the parents are coming home. Is she gonna make it? It reminds me of, do you know Sarah Michelle Gellar? I Know What You Did Last Summer. Do you know that sequence of Sarah Michelle Gellar and she's like at the parade and she like is almost through the alleyway? Any of those moments freak me out, like because they work so well.
yeah,
Um,
because
Mhm.
you're giving the character or
but
the audience the glimmer of um like there's hope
we're gonna
of
survive. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, no. She's getting stabbed. Um, I think, but what's so masterful about this is she actually finds out the killer's identity
identity. That's
because she's
really
about to pull the mask off. Yeah.
Even then, I still feel like viewers have some hope still at that point too.
Hmm.
But then at that point, it's like, well, now that she's seen their face, like, of course, now she has to die because they're not just going to let her live. She's seen who it is, at least one of them, for that matter.
Hmm. Well, and that you can actually see the parents. You can see her on the like porch, like through the frame of the camera as the parents are walking in. Yeah. You're right, Mary. There's always like that hope. Like she's not dead yet. Like there's still a chance. Is she gonna survive? And then no. I mean, um, But then that they actually keep it going, right? They could have ended with her final stab and they don't. Like we still see the parents in the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's also unique. Usually it would have like then Scream, the title would have come up again. But
I think the
no.
other Screams do have like that's their cutoff, like to
Uh-huh.
the headline, like as soon as like the
Oh,
pro.
because they can hear her on the phone. That's right. Oh my God. And that's so disturbing. That
So a
like
nod
they actually heard her death.
getting stabbed. A nod to what is it? Friday the 13th. Um
Mm.
the Mackenzies, I think yeah, it's Friday the 13th. They're a family name in that movie as well.
Mm.
Mm. And it's also very when a stranger calls, right? Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. And then she sees the mom sees the body. Because I find when a stranger calls the original to be really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh my God. And then she's hanging. And then we have the opening sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, there is no official like title screen. We get right into what, made Nev Campbell a star was Scream. I was just listening to an interview with her on Canadian, because she's Canadian, on Canadian radio. And like she was talking about how it felt like summer camp when they were making this movie, the whole cast.
Aw.
Um, yeah. And they all were pretty unknown. Like this was Courtney Cox's like major film, David Arquette, Rose
Mm-hmm.
McGowan, right? Except Nev Campbell
Yeah.
did say she had just been in The Craft,
Yeah, she
that
had just
gothic
Right.
witch film.
Mm-hmm.
I love that movie.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Nev Campbell's father. He is a sweet guy. We don't talk about him a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
mm. Well, because right, aren't they deep in mourning because of the death? Well, no, her mom had died how long ago?
A year. So I
Like,
mean,
yeah.
in
a year ago,
reality, that's not a lot.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And Billy is the identity. When you think of a creep boyfriend, you think of Billy Loomis. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's creepy from the beginning. Like
Yeah.
I'm not surprised he's one of the killers. Like I feel it's set up that way.
I mean, if a guy ever told me that he was thinking of me, like while watching The Exorcist and about our relationship,
That's kind of
that's just a huge red flag.
yeah, that's scary. I would
I
run.
find those red flags. You tell that they can watch The Exorcist and think of me any day.
You're like, you know what movie I really love and get horny and hot to is when I see Michael Myers. I think of you. I'd be like, okay. No, no. When I saw The Nun, you reminded me of The Nun, Possessed. Breaking your underwear rule. Oh, on top of the
Yeah.
clothes. That sounds like
Or at
I
least to
heard in
the
certain
underwear.
religions, like they'll try to just gyrate on top of the clothes and like you're okay to do that. Like you haven't had sex that way. But what
Well,
do
that's
I
what
know?
this movie, like as we watch it or dive into the movie, this doesn't really have too many like sexual like undertones. Like they try very hard to keep it at a very appropriate level to not get
Mhm.
like the 17 because
Yeah.
you don't need that for true horror. You don't need to sex sells. You
Yeah.
can have the scare element and that be your main focus in a movie. But I like the little nods and the like panaways when would you settle for a PG-13 relationship? Like they keep everything very classy.
Yeah. Well, and Halloween's like that too. Like there is that one character, remember, who she's
The
not
baby.
a virgin, but like yeah, they like role play in the house with a mask and she thinks like it's her boyfriend who's actually going to bed with her, but it's Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Um
You see everything.
oh, her
Mm-hmm.
titties. Yeah, yeah. They're on display.
They're there for you to
I,
just toggle.
you don't actually like see the nudity element. Yeah, I find though, do you
Right.
think
Like it's
that's
not in the
changed? Do you think we're getting more sensationalized sex and horror in
Mm,
our
I,
current day? Maybe Saw. I don't know. Is Saw sexy? I don't really watch a lot of Saw movies.
I don't think so sexy.
Okay. I know that they hide the key in the body, but oh, now we're in the high school. Okay. Again, an idyllic high school. It's always idyllic, isn't it? It's like what you think high school would be in
mm-hmm.
movies. It's like, yeah, my high school was enjoyable, but it was never all the groups outside. Like that's where it's California and like they're all hanging out outside. I'm like, where does everyone eat lunch and picnic? Like, I don't know that kind of high school. Mm. But okay. Oh, I love that we get like
Kill.
so many reporters.
Mm-hmm.
Um Woodsboro. Yeah. So Woodsboro is the fictional location. Oh my God, that pantsuit that Gail Weathers is in.
Oh my God.
It's the
That
best.
neon. It's practically neon.
Oh, it's so 90s and I love it. But I was 4. Yeah.
But
I was
iconic
4 years old.
for
Wait, how old were you? No, you were younger than I was, right? When it came out.
me or Mary.
No, Lawrence. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I was like I was 6 years old when this came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh my God. And then Rose McGowan's character is like, oh, her insides were on the outside. See, they all know. Like again,
Like,
but how would you
oh,
know that description?
oh well, Dewey, her brother.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Um, but don't you find like what makes Rose McGowan's character so good is she's so matter of fact about the gore. It's like, yeah, she was just bleeding from the outside. That's how it is. And
Her outsides were hanging out.
yeah, oh,
Her
Rose
insides were
McGowan
hanging
said
out.
that she didn't have brown hair like her natural hair. She had blonde because she knew Nev Campbell was already cast and she wanted a distinction when she did her reading for Wes Craven. So that's how she
Mm.
ended. I love her blonde hair in it.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like she's just one of those people who can wear any color and look
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. No, I agree. Oh, yeah. Tatum. That's her name.
Mm-hmm.
Where's
I
McGowan's
always want to
character?
call her Paige.
Oh, Charmed.
Because charm, exactly. I'm like,
But isn't it
no, that's
interesting
not
how
her
many of them
name.
end up in other gothic shows and movies?
Well, this took
Yeah.
off for thing. Skeet Ulrich is doing so many creepy things. Like their careers have just kind of like expanded onto like Matthew Lillard is big into like creepy roles.
Well, he was in Scooby Doo, remember? That wasn't creepy,
Oh
but
yeah,
like he was people really slept on that movie. I loved it.
And I have to
But-
say, that was the movie that I was introduced to him as. So,
yeah.
like, watching this after already having seen
uh,
Scooby Doo, it was soul crushing. I was like,
Mhm.
but Shaggy, what are you doing?
Yeah. Oh
Why
wait,
are
I
you
love
killing
when they're
these people?
analyzing like
Yes.
who the killer's psychosis, right? And Jamie Kennedy is the movie buff. So like he's like Mary said, there's the moment later when he talks about the rules of horror. Like he's our expert in the genre.
And I just want to say, I sometimes always forget that Jamie Kennedy exists. So initially, when Andrew and I were talking, I was like, oh, yeah, that's Seth Green. For whatever reason, my brain
I
completely
know
just
I
takes out
confuse
Jamie
them.
Kennedy and
Yeah.
inserts Seth Green. Sorry, Jamie Kennedy. I don't mean to
Yeah.
do that.
No, Seth
he
Green was
will
in
talk,
that.
we'll talk about
Wasn't
you, Mary. On this podcast.
wasn't Seth Green in that? He was in that movie. Oh my God, she's
He was
too
in Scooby.
young. No, I thought there
No,
was
no,
like
no,
a
no, no.
nine. You know what I'm talking
I
about.
know which one. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna
There's
find
some
it. I'm gonna find
there's
it.
some like movie where they're always at these like high school parties. Yeah, you'll have to find it, Mary. Oh wait, now Matthew Lillard's character is like, I'm gonna gut you, and now they're using it as a taunt. Okay, because that's really a normal way of speaking. Um,
I mean,
to
you have
try
to.
to threaten each other about gutting each other alive. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But they, yeah,
poor Nev. I mean, poor Sydney is just like hearing all of everybody joke about murder and this is all coming in with like still within a year of her like digressing what
Mhm.
had to her life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the trauma. Yeah, she's traumatized. Yeah, they're not sensitive, these teens around her.
No,
Uh,
not at all.
but again, another beautiful home. I'm like,
Wow.
isn't
What
it
does her
interesting
dad
though how
do?
these teens always live in like upper middle class suburbia? Halloween is in Haddonfield, and here it's Santa Rosa. I mean, I'm sure there's like down on their luck teens in some movies. Um,
Who needs 2 tables?
I know. But yeah, okay, this now does Northern California. The mountains are so beautiful. People are gonna be like, "You're talking about the movie. Why are you talking about the setting, Andrew?" But it's all part of the aesthetic. And I love that she has a balcony. Wow. I want to buy this house.
I know, seriously.
That
Probably
house
like
actually
five.
was for sale, and I think it sold for 8 million,
Yeah.
like a few years ago.
But I think it's only like 40 minutes from San Francisco. So
Oh,
not
it's probably like
surprised.
20 million now or something.
Yeah. I'm sure, you know what? Someone from Meta or X lives there now.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley's moved up there. Um,
So see how she just like opens the door, you hear like a themat like the undertones, like it's
oh
kind
yeah.
of another like foreshadowing, like, oh, opening the door, you hear, is it
Hmm.
a jump scare when she shuts the door? It was just kind of like, I like the direction of how everything was filmed.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, the angle, the cinematography, I think that's what makes this film. Oh, and now we see Sydney's mother, Maureen Prescott, was found raped and murdered not far from this peaceful town square. Yeah, and this is why she really has um it out for Gail Weathers because she associates Gail with the tragedy of her mom. Like Gail was making money off of her mother's death. I think that's well what Sydney
Mm-hmm.
sees it as.
Yeah.
But right, Mary,
Which
that's
it
what
is.
happens in
There's
the true
not,
crime. But that's what
yeah.
you do as a true crime commentator. People could see it
Mm-hmm.
as a very exploitative business.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it can be, especially in those types of situations. Not to say that that's necessarily what's going on here, but it definitely feels that way. And I can see why Sydney feels
Mhm.
that way.
I just saw a photo of the mom Marine, and all I have to say is she kind of looks Matthew Lillard kind of looks like he could be related to the mother. Like look at it. Everyone, look at the picture of Marine again. It does look like like Matthew Lillard could be Sydney's sibling.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I feel like there is something eventually that happens that makes them
Mm-hmm.
where there could be like a familial connection.
Yeah.
Mm. I'll have to like read up on if they try to like make it look like Marine birthed Matthew Lillard's character. Stu. I have to say his name.
Hmm.
His name's Stu. Oh, the video store. Oh, I love when we actually see the video store because I'm so nostalgic for video stores.
Mm-hmm.
There was something to it. Like, yeah, we're streaming now. That's great. But it was different when you actually like had a curated collection and you knew the employees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe we should bring them back. I think they will come back maybe as like a nostalgic thing.
I do
Possibly.
believe the Blockbuster in Bend or like Oregon is still
Yeah,
around.
it is. Yeah. Well, record players are back. I always loved record players.
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds so different. Okay. Oh, it's right out of a horror movie. Like, yeah, you are in a horror movie. That's what I love. Like, but I love how, again, I like scary movie and the spoofing, but I like that this is on the edge. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
not too campy and it's not too serious. It's like scary enough while still being in on a joke. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Grease being in on the 50s nostalgia. Like, it's not too corny. The first scary movie's good. The others, I think, jumped the ship. Um, I'm not Randy. Uh-oh. Who's on the phone? Um,
I like another thing that they keep like mentioning as like we get into other interactions with Ghostface. a lot of people's assumptions are, oh, it must be the movie kid, must be, oh, Randy. Like Randy's name is like used when interacting with Ghostface, like
Oh,
a few
Mhm.
times, really.
that's true. Well, because he's the one who would know all these devices, right, Lorentz? And he seems like a good someone to pin it on. But I always find it interesting that in horror movies, it's always like that panning around of your empty yard, like your front yard, your backyard. Instead of like what I feel I would want to do is like hide as like get as close to the ground in the house and like hide under a bed or like get a phone and call the police. But I guess then we wouldn't have all of this anticipation of where's the killer. Hmm.
Plus, like the what is the cat and dog, like, oh, taunting,
Wait,
that
like a
that
cat and mouse game?
yeah, cat and mouse,
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
her
Um,
challenge, like,
yeah, I love when she picks her nose.
Mhm.
She's like, what am I doing? Okay. Yeah, but she really, you know, oh, she thought it was her friend until he mentions her mother.
Mhm.
She says, fuck you, you cretin. That's very 90s slang. I don't think I've heard someone. Oh, no, there's Ghostface. But again, you don't think Ghostface would come out that quickly with the main character.
Yeah.
Like, usually that's the last frame of the movie is the killer with the main character. Like Jamie Lee Curtis with Halloween. I guess what were other popular movies that also had a female protagonist?
uh,
Halloween.
aliens.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking like slasher. Are there other? See, Nightmare on Elm Street, I just put it in its own universe. Like I find that's not a traditional slasher. I know. Carrie, that's not a slasher, but yeah, I'll have to think. We'll have to think, everyone.
Mhm.
Now I feel like there's a lot of When a Stranger Calls. Yeah.
Mhm.
Which I think has the actress from The Princess Bride. Um, she has such a unique voice. Carol Kane. Carol Kane.
Away.
Yeah. If you haven't seen When a Stranger Calls, the original, it is just so good. Um, oh, and there's Billy. Huh.
Oh, Billy.
That's
And he's
normal.
back.
I
That's normal.
if my boyfriend or significant other like popped through my window,
And had a phone in his pocket.
my neighbors would be calling the cops. Like, there's somebody climbing through your window.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
climbing
another
through a
thing.
window.
No one has neighbors. Like how?
No, they all have like so much space and acres around. Um,
So
but
comfortable, just
then
all the windows open. My mom would tell me, you before you leave, lock all those windows just in case of
yeah,
weather, or like any other
yeah,
interests.
yeah. Oh my gosh, when Dewey scares her with the mask. But Dewey is the best because he, like, even David Arquette talks about it. The way he played Dewey, like Wes Craven wanted him to be first a meathead jock airhead.
Mhm.
Instead, David Arquette was like, well, I can't be the jock, but I could be a meathead kind of airhead comedian. And I think he does so well with his act. They're all so good. I mean, I think that's what makes us iconic. It's the
Mhm.
acting, right? These people, they're committed to their parts. Um,
Those
but
cops got there quick too.
that was
For
quick.
real.
Yeah. Maybe she lives closer to the center of town. Because remember, Drew Barrymore's character
Lives in
apparently
a
lived
corner.
too far, lived in a corn maze, is how he's.
No, she. If you when they pan to the mom or the parents coming in, like it's just acres and acres of cornfields.
Mhm.
Yeah. Maybe they're farmers. I don't know. I don't know. But Did you see the most recent Scream?
I have. I don't know if
I think so.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was good. Um, I heard they're going to do it again, and the pressure is if Nev Campbell is going to be in it or not with the pay. Because there's like been a
pay
back and
her,
forth.
pay her worth.
I know.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, Drew Barrymore's character is Casey. That's right. Okay. Um,
And quick reporters too. Like already
everyone's on the scene. They must like, and she's in her lime green jumpsuit, pantsuit. She must like always have it on.
I mean, the fact that she's trying to talk to children without an adult, like
Yeah,
she's literally I mean, it gets
yeah,
worse as
yeah,
this movie progresses, but like she is terrible. Like
yeah,
literally a liable, like she'd be screwed. She would
yeah,
never be able to even have the scoop because they'd be like, "What? How you did what now?"
yeah. Oh wait, I
we
have an
can't
ad.
use this. We
Same.
You
can't
have an
use
ad.
this.
Okay, we have an ad, Lorentz.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll let you know when we're back on. But oh, I will say the new Scream is actually going to be the first time it's been directed. I don't know if it's the first horror movie directed by a gay man, but I think it's Scream's first movie directed by a gay man.
Hmm.
And I would have been joking. I really wanted to start with like a gay bachelor party. Like I feel like because it could be really funny. Like, hello, oh, I love your voice. Are you a stripper coming to the party? Like, I want to be in the opening sequence. I'll do it. I'll die in the beginning. That's okay. I don't care.
The
Yeah.
the writer of Scream, Kevin Williamson, he identified
Okay.
he's gay.
Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. I mean, it is such a queer, I feel, iconic film, especially when we get to Rose McGowan and the cat shoot. I feel that scene is that's one of my
That
favorite scenes.
that was supposed to be
Hmm.
a gay scene.
Yeah. It's very bottom heavy imagery. LGBT stories are universal, but each one speaks to the individual heart and soul of the writer telling it. Do you have a story to tell? Or have you been moved by an LGBT book, film, painting, television show, or other form of media? Then the Gay and Lesbian Review wants to hear from you. The GNLR believes in bringing awareness to queer art and artists through reviews, commentary, and thought pieces in which the author relates their personal lives to a particular piece of art, a novel, a movie. In addition to the print magazine, the GNLR also publishes articles on its blog. So you can see all of this on glreview.org. That's glreview.org. Remember, you get 50% off your subscription of the GL Review magazine when you use the promo code ITBR50. That's 50% off your print or digital subscription when you use promo code ITBR50. To learn more about submitting an article for the GNLR, visit their writer's guidelines. The link is located at the bottom of their homepage. And if you have any questions, email Stephen Hemrick. That's STEPHEN dot HEMRICK at glreview.org. The GNLR and its readers can't wait to see what you have to say. Hi, did I mention that it's spooky season? This is Dr. Andrew Rimby, and guess what? I have so many Halloween and fall designs and crafts in my apartment. And guess what? There is a person who's made me so many Halloween horror fall themed items, and her name is Mandy Bengal. She owns Mandy Made It, a craft crochet company. So Mandy talked to me and said, Andrew, I want everyone out there to know that if they mention ITBR and that they heard my ad, that I will give them a free ITBR t-shirt. So make sure you mention ITBR and order from Mandy crocheted pumpkins that she actually is using cinnamon sticks as the stem, which is a brilliant idea. How cozy. And also filling the pumpkins with potpourri. I already want to wrap myself in a blanket. She has Halloween keychains, other Halloween crochet designs. So how can you reach out to her? Go to her Facebook or Instagram at Mandy Made It. Reach out to her. She will ship items out to you. If you live in the South New Jersey, Philly area, she'll arrange to have you either pick it up or deliver it to you. So Mandy just makes such beautiful crocheted items. And I'm so happy that she supports the podcast. I've known Mandy since I was a child. We were in theater camp together. That's how I met Mary. So the three of us have known each other a long time. Okay, head over to Mandy Made It for your handmade crocheted items for this Halloween and fall. Okay. So you never know what we're gonna get as I love this though, like just seeing what comes up as we watch.
Pop-up video.
Pop-up video, yeah. Wait, that's his father. I don't know why I don't remember the father of Billy.
Wait,
He's really only in it for 2 seconds.
did you still have the ad?
Oh no, we're back. Sorry. Yeah, they're in the police precinct. Yeah. Yeah, Billy's with his father. The father's kind of handsome.
Hank? Yeah.
Is that his name? See, I don't even know his name. I didn't kill anybody.
Doing everything by
Yeah.
the book. As the dad there, like
Mm-hmm.
you're being questioned, you're talking.
Oh yeah,
to
he has a
mom.
lawyer on hand. Oh yeah, this guy Billy's from privilege.
Well, technically, Hank is a lawyer too. The dad was.
There you go. Wow, you must have like slept with Hank or something, Lorentz. You know a lot about this backstory. It's like, I don't even know who Hank is. Okay. That van is so iconic that Gail Weathers is in. And again, she's in the jumpsuit. Do they change her outfit? No, that's right. This is the same day. It's all one day. That's right. It's all one day. Because I guess Casey Becker's murder was the night before. Is that our sequence of time?
Mm-hmm.
It happens pretty quickly. Like the days. There's only a few days in this movie.
Yeah.
Sydney look at me and she's like, no,
No,
I'm not
good.
going to look at. And then Tatum in that like clueless skirt. That does look like something Alicia Silverstone would wear. I know. We need that fashion again. Instead, the Gen Zers told me that the fashion now is to wear real loose clothes. And I was like, we already went through that in the early 2000s. I'm not wearing loose clothes again. No.
No, and I think Rose McGowan actually had, like, everybody follows their wardrobe technician to the book. I think Rose McGowan had stated that she incorporated a lot of her clothes, like those white boots. I think she said that those were her boots. She had a lot of influence on her. Like like you said, she wanted to dye her hair, change it from brown to blonde. I think they gave her a lot of creative like
freedom.
energy. Freedom, yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to always finish people's thoughts. I know that's not always kind.
You were getting it out for me.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're all friends, so we don't take offense by that. Oh, they have a pretty downtown.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I'll have to like look up Santa Rosa. It looks like a nice area. Road trip. We could take the Amtrak, I heard, to San Francisco. It only takes you 3 days.
Oh.
Like fun time on the train. I love trains, but I don't think I could be on a train for a day. I need to like move around.
I do appreciate Gail Weathers like motivation, like determining she was gonna get that story. Like whether it's a 17-year-old without consent, she was gonna get some type of story.
Oh God, when she punches Gail Weathers.
That was my favorite moment. She deserves it, quite frankly.
And Gail says, "Nice shot, bitch."
I mean, she's fucking harassing teenagers.
But Gail actually loves.
She's calling them bitches. Like she should be in jail.
Yeah. Oh, and then Tatum says, "I'll send you a copy." Bam, bitch.
Super bitch.
But I think Gail gets off on it for some reason. She really likes the power play.
Well, they don't like. They talk about like Gail really was involved a lot with Sydney's moms. There was an trial and she was interviewing the suspect. Like she involved, like immersed herself in Sydney's life in this court case. Like that was something that we don't really see in Scream. So it's just, it's unfortunate, but like that's kind of like the back history between like Sydney and Gail as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, she's gonna answer the phone again. Yeah. We have the killer calling her at Tatum's house.
Mm-hmm.
I also love how Tatum is like, they're very like 1980s girls just want to have fun sleepover clothes.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when Pamela Anderson's in Scary Movie. Have you seen that Scary Movie? And just her boobs are out. Oh my God, Dewey. Oh, Dewey is so adorable, though.
It just comes out with waving his gun. No big deal.
No. I just want him to cuddle me. He's so cute. Okay.
It terrifies me. Put that gun down.
Yeah. I think that's what we're supposed to be terrified. He'll like
the real
quick hand. He has what do they call those? Not sloppy hands. Like when you have loose fingers.
Yeah.
Sticky fingers? No, that's different. Oh gosh.
But like look at Cotton Weary.
Oh, this is the murderer. This was.
Look at the hair.
Apparently, Maureen's murderer.
I mean, the guy looks like Billy, like an older Billy.
Mm-hmm. His cellular bill was clean. He didn't make those calls. I
wouldn't even know how to phone like a phone. That just seems...
Well, remember you used to
do this. I'm very
yeah. Well, remember we used to get statements where it would say like who you called that month or that billing period. That was like in the 2000s. But I love how he has the sunglasses. His getup is really nice, Dewey. Always has to go to school in the cop car.
So right here, they don't say it and it's uncredited, but that's Linda Blair from The Exorcist.
Oh, as the reporter. Oh, good knowledge. Good trivia, Lawrence. I like Tatum's outfit there. It's very cheerleader football player. Very like a jersey on.
Very nod to Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, I have to watch Nightmare on Elm Street again. Oh, Gail at least is in another. She's in a now red pantsuit. But you know, I do get where Gail's coming from about having to document it as a book. I mean, do you feel like Sydney really should be blaming Gail for making, like, wasn't someone going to profit off of, not even profit, but have to tell the story in book form? I mean,
yes and no. Not every court case gets turned into a book. Someone has to want to do that. Yeah. You know, but in this situation, I think it's a lot different because she is from the same town. It seems like this is supposed to be like a more tight-knit, you know, type of community. So I think for the fact that someone who's in her community is actively not only writing this book about her mother's murder, but also writing it in a way that, you know, reflects technically bad on her mom in some ways.
Well, then we find out that Gail thinks that Cotton had sex with her mom in like a romantic relationship, that the mom was cheating on her father, which I think, you know, that comes up at the end. We get a lot of accusations in the final scene. And then that cameraman, what's his name? I don't know his name.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Aggressive fat shaming that Gail
Yes.
there's like,
no.
This guy's working for you. This guy is like following you with the camera. Like maybe be a little kinder.
Yeah.
She was
ruthless. And I don't even Yeah,
And she
I don't
just
even think
slapped
he
him.
works for her. Like I think he works for the news station just like she does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's union, and she's just the talent face reporter, smut
Yeah.
reporter, whatever. Like,
No, that's her golfer. That's her personal assistant. The way that it seems she
Mm-hmm.
treats him. Oh, and then there's a ghost face running around in the school. That's a real class act. Um,
Bound to happen.
but I think what's so smart in even having someone mock Ghostface and his costume is like already anticipating that it's going to be the number one Halloween costume in America. Like they already treat it as a costume in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't see the serial killer elevated to that level like as a materialistic consumer object in our movies. Like before this.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, just so many smart decisions in this movie. Wes Craven he died in 2015, but just an incredible director
Mm-hmm.
and creator. Imagine that you're riding the Turner Classic Movie Great Movie Ride in Hollywood studios. It's in the 1990s. As you're journeying through the Great Movie Ride, you pass the Wizard of Oz, where all of a sudden you see the Wicked Witch of the West ascend into Munchkinland in a cloud of smoke and flames. Well, that's the memory I have with the Great Movie Ride in classic cinema when I was at Disney in the 1990s as a young boy. And ever since that, I was hooked on classic cinema. Well, my friend Christian Garcia, friend of the Ivory Tower Boiler Room, has a podcast that you all are going to love. It's called That Old Gay Classic Cinema, and he looks at queer themes in classic cinema like Vertigo, The Wizard of Oz, Sleeping Beauty, Mary Poppins, 101 Dalmatians, Hello Dolly. The list can go on and on and on. So follow him on Instagram at That Old Gay Classic Cinema. You can listen to his podcast on Apple and Spotify. And he also is on the premiere episode of our Queer as Folk podcast, where I'm rewatching every episode of Queer as Folk from 2000. And the episodes come out bi-weekly. So make sure you listen to his episode with me. And he's launching a rewatch show of Smash, where they're putting on a Marilyn Monroe musical. So he's going to be joined by co-hosts, a lot who are in the Broadway and theater industry, and I'm going to be on his first episode. So without further ado, get listening to That Old Gay Classic Cinema. Enjoy. I am here with the co-owner of one of my favorite stores here in Port Jefferson Village, New York. It is called The Soapbox. So Janine said, Andrew, I have these 4 products you need to get your hands on. It's called 4 for Fall. So she's going to go over these 4 products. I know first you have a soap for me. What is the soap?
I have the soap for you. It is called Apple Cider Shea Butter Soap. It's by a company called Greenwich Bay. And this is a great soap because you can use it for your hands or your body. And it has a delicious apple cider scent. And I think you're actually already familiar with it.
Yes, it is
Tried
in
it.
my shower. I still have it. It lasts a very long
Yeah,
time.
great lather.
The lather's wonderful. It's just so luxurious, and I love the scent into November.
Yes.
You know, this
It
apple
carries.
cider it evokes so many cozy feelings. After the soap, we have something that you can add on to
Yes.
in the shower. So what is this?
This is a wonderful, wonderful exfoliating shower scrub. It is by a company called Primal Almonds, and it's a sugar whip shower scrub. And the scent is pumpkin spice. It's a moisturizing sugar scrub. So it's tiny little sugar granules, and it's something that you would use after you shower twice a week because you don't want to strip your skin of your natural oils and your moisture. But it's wonderful. It just really exfoliates all that dead skin and leaves your skin very smooth and soft from all the sugar.
So after I use the exfoliant, right now we need to moisturize. So I
Yes.
know you have a really nice fall body lotion for us.
Absolutely. This is just such a delicious scent. This is one of my favorites for fall. The scent is Orchard Breeze, and it's by a company called Michelle Design Works. This is another product that you can use hand and body. It's great. You can place it on your vanity, just a couple of pumps for your hands, or use it on your entire body. But it's shea butter based, so it's extremely moisturizing. It's just wonderful, and the scent is just lovely.
We need something more deep for our face. Everyone
Yes.
wants face masks, and I know that you absolutely love this company and this brand.
This is one of my favorite masks by one of my favorite companies that we carry and we support. The company is called Farmhouse Fresh, and they're right out of Texas. The mask is called Splendid Dirt, and it's a nutrient-rich mud mask. It consists of pumpkin puree, and the benefits of this mask, it's a pore minimizer, a radiance booster, and a skin degunker. So it's an all-around great mask. If you really want a boost of radiance, it brightens your skin and it really cleanses your pores.
If they live on Long Island or near Long Island, what is your address for them to come into the store?
We're located at 18 Chandler Square in Port Jefferson, New York, right in the village. And if you can't make it, you have to come in because we just have so much fun stuff in here, so many wonderful products. But if you can't make it in, please give us a call. We're more than happy to ship any of these wonderful products to you. Call us at 631-509-1424. You could always reach us on Instagram at the Soapbox NY, or you could always check us out on our website, Soapbox NY. And
Yeah, there's
I
so
think
many
that's
ways to
about it. Yeah,
access your
so many
products.
ways to reach us.
And Janine is more than happy, and Mariana, the
Mhm.
other co-owner,
My mom, actually.
yes,
Yes, my
are
mother.
so willing to take your orders
Yes.
via phone, via Instagram, and I can't wait for everyone else to enjoy these luxurious products. I love when Billy says this to her.
Oh my god, I want to punch him in the face.
So cringy.
Yeah. Like he's trying to guilt trip her into having sex. And he's
Mhm.
like, why are you so upset and traumatized? Get over it. Like, don't worry about a killer
Get
in your
over your
house.
mom's death.
Yeah.
Let's go have sex.
Yeah, but now, like when I mean, I think everyone who's watching this, it's okay if we spoil it, but when you know that he's one of the killers and this is his way of conversing with her, like then you have to think about how is he getting turned on by this? Like this is extremely his mental unraveling and derangement mixed with horniness. It's a real
Mhm.
it shows the side of how psychopathic he is, you know? I mean, the way that Skeet plays it in his eyes, like you said, Lorenz, his eyes, he looks really unhinged.
There's nothing there.
Wait, you thieving, whoring generation.
I know. He's
That's what the
insane in
principal
this
says.
one. Like he's another one, like straight to jail. Like you're threatening students. You're threatening them with scissors now.
principal.
Like what?
Like puts the scissors up against their chest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would have been on the phone with the school board. Like, what is this guy doing? He's got the key.
Looks like he's about to slash them.
Right.
He's threatening to hang them from a tree. They are
Straight to
very
jail.
handsome guys who were in the Ghostface costume. They did a good job with the handsomeness in this movie. Oh my God.
The bathroom lock.
They
scene.
definitely need a
Mhm.
renovation in this high school. Even though the high school's beautiful on the outside, I guess they don't care about the bathroom.
I feel like my school bathroom looked like that. It still looks
I
like
don't
it.
know.
Mhm.
I don't remember. Oh,
Imagine there was somebody a person can I get in?
yeah. Oh, and now they're okay. So they're questioning whether Sydney is actually
If
the
she didn't watch
killer, or imagine if she's, you know, um, framing people. Well, that's what I like about. I have to say, one of my favorite Scream sequels is the Emma Roberts one. I thought
Scream
that was a. Which one is it?
Scream 4.
4. Yeah, yeah. I thought that worked really well. I am watching the new American Horror Story. It's interesting. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm like not that far enough. I need more. Are you seeing it, Mary?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Lorentz, have you seen Delicate yet?
I have not, but
Okay.
I'm going to. I just a lot of shows. I just finished how the rise and fall of the House of Usher,
Mm.
and that was amazing.
Wait. Oh, well, I'm going to cover it on the podcast. So thanks for that teaser. I'm bringing on two American Gothic scholars, and we're going to talk all about it and what they do with Poe. Okay. We're hearing noises. Um, she's convinced that Ghostface is in the bathroom, right?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
can
what
hear like with the air conditioner, like
yeah. Yeah, is someone there? Anytime they ask that in a horror movie, like that's not a good.
No one's
That's
gonna
when you
answer
should
you
no.
either.
That's when you should run outside the door, like leave.
actually, like I
Yeah.
said, this bathroom is pretty clean compared to there was definitely a lot of writing in my high school bathroom, like little hearts like Ken and Michelle forever, and like there I
Mm.
don't they must
Yeah.
they must paint over this must have been a freshly painted bathroom.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
There's Ghostface again. So now this is the second time she's come in contact with Ghostface.
Mm-hmm.
The first was in her house. Now it's in the school.
Well, this
Again,
this
what's the common
technically
denominator? Who's always around when she's attacked by
this
Ghostface?
the bathroom scene, it's kind of what is it called when like a group, the collective group, or like the fan base, like we think that that is not a killer. That was just, you know how like the kids were all running around the hallways like screaming wearing ghost face, like
Mm-hmm.
this not a killer. The like he didn't have any knives, and the person didn't have any knives in his hands. It was bare hands. So we kind of think that that was like an unrelated incident provoking like Sydney.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh, okay. She's gonna. Oh, a demographic study between men 11 to 24. What was the study? Wait.
Her like popularity.
Oh. Oh, that men between 11 to 24 are most attracted to her. Oh,
What's
that's
creepy though is then like
interesting.
she says that he looks like he's 12 except for his upper torso area.
I
So
hope
cringe.
his lower torso area has gone past puberty. Ah, interesting. I wonder what's to that. Uh, again, these are times, but this is also when I like looking back, right? This is 27 years since Scream.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Yeah. But I do feel like there were chances taken there that now movies are so censored. Like things are so, I hate to say politically correct because it's used overboard by the religious right, but I do feel like there's certain chances that aren't taken. Except Talk to Me. I keep saying to everyone that was one of the most scary films I've seen in years. Um, and Midsummer
Yeah.
freaked me out.
Mary, I have a question. So this we like you've covered like true crime pod, and I'm sure you know that this is based off of like a real um like a real life like killer that happened. Um this is like very similar to what that town was kind of like going through, or I don't know if you know too much. I only know that it is based off of a real incident that
Yeah.
kind of was messed up on what happened to those teens, but I think like the town didn't know anything and they were freaking out. The whole college shut down. Like, I don't know if anymore or if you could provide any insight to that, but
Yeah, Mary
yeah.
knows a lot. So yeah, Mary,
Yeah.
this is a good
Yeah.
chance because this is kind of like as we're watching this scene, it's kind of I don't want to say filler, but like we're gearing up for the house party. So yeah, what was behind the real life inspiration?
Yeah, so the real killer was known
Oh, we have an
in the
ad,
summer. Okay,
Lawrence.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
perfect time. Here's an ad. So in the summer of 1990, there was a serial killer who was given the moniker of the Gainesville Ripper. His real name was Daniel Rolling. He was born in 1954 and was killed by lethal injection in 2006. He brutally murdered 5 college students in their dorms. People had no clue that they were happening. And, you know, he also, what he did was he posed their bodies after the fact. So not only were, so kind of like in the beginning part where they drag her and hang her, how Steve's kind of in the chair in the back.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
back, Lorentz.
There's that kind of connection there. He was eventually captured and arrested on September 8th. But interestingly enough, he was actually obsessed with Rambo.
Ah,
Which I just thought that was an interesting tidbit about this killer. But
wait, where was Danny Rollins? Like what state?
Florida.
Okay. I wonder why maybe Florida was not attractive to the film crew. I guess it depends
And-
where in Florida.
And
Yeah, I
they
mean
ha-
they're also de-aged
right or
kids
something.
too.
They held him too. The actual killer, they held him in like the jail cells for a few days to see if the acts would still happen. Like I don't think that that's like a normal.
Oh my God, wait. How about the janitor in the Freddy Krueger outfit? I just noticed that. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's Wes Craven in
Oh, that is Wes Craven as the
Mm.
janitor. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But yeah, no, Florida didn't know what to do, and I think it was like a not Pondong town, but it wasn't as a suburban
Mhm.
metropolitan area. I think they didn't know what to do, so they kept him in the jail cell to see if the murders would still happen, and that's kind of how I believe that's how they found that it was like him.
Yeah.
I think it was actually because they arrested someone else for the murders.
Yep.
And I think that's what that was.
Mr. Hembry is going to die.
He deserves it.
I just love though that it's Henry Winkler from
I
Happy
know.
Days. Like it's a great casting choice. Oh my God.
That's
And
a
then that you
beautiful
can see
shot.
his, yes, in his eyes, you can see the mask. Okay. We're going to take a pause here, everyone. So pause. School's out for the summer is playing.
Yeah.
We get a big transition into, I think we leave the school permanently now in the movie, right? This is kind of like our end of Act 1. The school is end of Act 1, and then we get into the house party. It's like all of Act 2. Okay. So, Mary, anything else you want to say before we leave for our Patreon to cover the rest of the movie about like what Lorentz is talking about from the Danny Rollins case? Well, first, you covered it on the podcast.
Yes, there are episodes part 1, 2, and 3. They're already up. It's just if you look up the Gainesville Ripper series, you'll find them.
Yeah. Oh, Gainesville. Okay. Yeah, that is kind of like more of a rural or less populated area of Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, what are our thoughts so far about halfway through the movie? Like, as you're rewatching, is there anything that you're seeing anew from watching together?
I mean, I know that like rewatching it, you see the difference in. So they didn't have the licensing to do the mask yet, and so you'll see different variations of the mask. So the mask that we saw with Henry Winkler, that's a mask that the production team just made up because they didn't have to use the actual like ghost face, or I think the name is Father of Death.
Yeah. I think wasn't it a mask that already existed at a costume store?
Yes.
Or
Thought.
Father of Death.
okay, it was just generic.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now Paramount or whatever these production companies are called these days because of the whole crazy Weinstein stuff, whatever the company now owns the rights, I believe, to the Ghostface like mask. Like
Oh wait, so on Instagram I had some people because of our recording, I asked what your favorite horror movie was. So I think I did get some responses, and I'm gonna read them. Let me see here. Okay, so Matt said Halloween, which yeah. Well, I was gonna say, what are your before we go into the Patreon and leave all of you lovely listeners on our podcast platforms, um, what is your favorite horror movie, Mary?
Um, I don't know. I feel like mine's Halloween too. It's such a classic.
Yeah. How about you,
I,
Lorentz?
I like Halloween as well. Mary, what made you like Halloween? Like, what was?
I mean, I hated the whole like she's a virgin, so that's why she survives. But I appreciated like like I just liked her character, like Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Laurie.
Yeah.
I don't know. It had like a pro female, like because I mean she's a final girl, right? So, you know, she's
The
got that energy to it. So it's like, okay, yeah, this girl technically you could beat this dude if you had to. Like she did, she does it. So
Yeah. I feel like if I had to do a slasher, again, I'm so, both of you know me so well. I'm like so analytic when it comes to these genres. I guess I don't even know if I consider Scream a horror movie. I think I consider it more a horror thriller
mhm.
that
com
like like if I had to do a slasher, I would say Halloween. But if I had to do like a psychological thriller, I would say The Sixth Sense. And then
Okay.
I would consider this like the satire realm of horror. So this is definitely the top. Like I feel Scream is the most cutting edge horror movie as a
Mhm.
genre. Like, and another one that I really need to watch again is Poltergeist. I remember I was really freaked out with Poltergeist, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Um, but I do have to rewatch The Exorcist. And for all of you out there, we're all going to be back again talking about The Exorcist, the new one, which I am seeing soon. So I can't wait. But yeah, I don't know. Lawrence, is Scream up there as like your top five if you had to do
Scream
a top five?
is right there is number one in my everyday movie. I mean, I can have it playing while I'm at work and just like in the
Yeah.
background. I don't know if that makes like we were talking about earlier, like, oh, I was watching The Exorcist and like I don't know if I'm telling like the tell is too much for anybody, but I mean, Scream is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like
Yeah.
it's there. Like I
Yeah.
want to get a tattoo on my arm. Like everything about this movie,
I love
like
it.
it put fear in my eyes. I was 6 years old when my cousins like I remember it was Christmas. Um we went into my aunt's like living room and they put on Scream. My mom's like, "Oh yeah, you can go and watch it." I'm 6 years old. Had no idea I've never seen a horror movie in my life. First 15 minutes, I just watched Drew Barrymore get brutally butchered. Icon Drew Barrymore. I'm like, I'm like, did they just kill her on real TV? Didn't know that
Yeah.
was fake.
Well, you know how so I saw it when I was, I think, in middle school. I would watch all up until high school. I would watch the AMC Horror Fest. Do you remember when AMC, like, they still do it, but they would just have all the horror movies playing every night?
Mhm.
And,
I, yeah.
but they were censored versions, I remember. Like, they were made for TV. Um,
Like the ones
but I'm
Billy
looking, they
Loomis
still
hates.
do, like, all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. Again, Nightmare on Elm Street, I have to rewatch because you know what it is for Nightmare on Elm Street? Now that I find campy because, and I think it's supposed to be campy, but I never was scared because I'm like, they're not dead, they're dreaming. It's like very as if they're in purgatory. Like I don't know what's happening a lot of the times. It's kind of like Candyman. I'm not into the Gremlins. That's the only one I don't like. I'm like, okay, I'm not that freaked out.
So cute.
And Chucky is
He's so
funny,
cute.
but Chucky's just That little doll is.
Chucky's a
Oh my God, they
franchise.
should have a Barbie Chucky movie.
Oh my
Barbie and
God.
Chucky meet each other. I think that would work. Or Final Destination. I remember the one with the roller coaster. I
The
forget
third
which
one
one. Okay. So you know.
with
But I thought
Elizabeth
that
and
one was pretty good. House of Wax with Paris Hilton. I
Mm.
remember watching that. But yeah, Poltergeist. There's a few I have to maybe we'll have to do like Poltergeist in the winter.
Mm.
And as we're watching this, everyone, I have to say this is like the best timing because like as we started it, the sun was like going down, and then now we're in our pitch black fall, which like
we're
at least I feel energized because usually I was like the last day I had to like just sleep. I don't know what I always feel nocturnal. Like it always takes me a day to get into the darkness where I'm just like so exhausted. I don't know if you feel that way, but
I'm always in darkness. Now I feel like this.
yeah. Well, you're just Dracula, so okay. So for everyone out there, we are going on to our Patreon. We're gonna watch the last, it's like 40 minutes, 50 minutes of the movie. Um, and thank you all for joining us. But it is only $10 a month to join our Patreon, and you get access to all of our episodes, all of them, and you get access to our book clubs. So Mary's True Crime Book Club, which is about hauntings, and my book club, which is about the women behind the Rolling Stones. And then November, I'm toying around with it. I think I might choose Delicate Condition, which American Horror Story is based off of. Because there's something in my mind saying I want to read Delicate Condition, and I think others out there would be interested in it. To see how the American Horror Story is adapting it. And I'm sure American Horror Story has taken a lot of libertine risks with it. Just because that's what American Horror Story does. Okay. Lorentz, this has been amazing. Mary, this is fun. Let's go into our Patreon because I can't wait to watch the last section, which is my favorite. My favorite, because we haven't even gotten to Rose McGowan's death, which is wild. Okay.
We'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. Don't answer the phone. Hi, this is Dr. Andrew Rimby. I want to thank you so much for listening to the ITBR and TCIA episodes. Make sure if you don't, follow, rate, and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, make sure you follow ITBR on TikTok and Instagram at Ivory Tower Boiler Room, and TCIA on TikTok and Instagram at True Crime and Academia. Also, we have a brand new Patreon membership system. So I just want to explain it to you all quickly. So if you want to become an ITBR student, it is $5 a month. You get ad-free ITBR and TCIA episodes and video interviews. If you want to become an ITBR professor for $10 a month, you get all of those ad-free benefits, but you also get access to both the ITBR and TCIA book clubs. You can join both book clubs, get ad-free episodes, plus you're going to get all of our extra video episodes. So I am rewatching Queer as Folk. Christian Garcia from That Old Gay Classic Cinema is joining us, and he's rewatching Smash. Mary is going to start to rewatch shows as well. You even get access to what I'm calling the ITBR Teaches. So if I'm recapping a movie or a TV show, including Barbie, Halloween movies and horror films, you get access to that as well. And then I also am offering consultation services. So for $30, you get your first initial consultation with me. It's a 1-hour private Zoom. I will help create your podcast, your media brand. How do you navigate academia as an undergrad or a grad student? Do you need help with technology? It could be teaching tools, Spotify for podcasters, video editor software. Do you want to expand your social media presence as an artist, writer, podcaster, or academic? Do you want help on how to create a public humanities identity like I've created for myself? So now I'm offering that consultation service. You can find more info about it on Patreon. And you also can join our book clubs. If you want to just join the ITBR book club or the TCIA book club, you can do that for $4 a month. patreon.com/Ivory Tower Boiler Room. That is patreon.com/Ivory Tower Boiler Room. Thanks to the team, Mary DiPipi, our chief contributor, and thank you to our 2 new interns from Stony Brook University, Jonathan and Sarah. Bye, everyone. Until next time.